More and more, you need to roster Rondale more. Hey, yo, it's waiver wire week 3, ladies and gentlemen. And jokes aside, let's get into it. Dilly dilly.
Holy shit.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Rumboyz Robbie of the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Look, feeling slightly underneath the weather, but you know what? Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboys and girls. What it do, dilly dilly. We gonna push it through. It's just a little sore throat. You know, nothing too serious. Fucking green screen light thingy is hating me still, but you know, we gonna deal with it. I haven't been able to get the lighting to function right. Hang on. Let's see if maybe that helps it a little bit. If I just kind of turn it just completely just away, just away, just like fuck. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it. This show is brought to you by monkeyknifefight.com and the Monkey Knife Fight app. Be sure to download the Monkey Knife Fight app and use promo code Rumboyz whenever you sign up. We're going to go ahead and match your very first deposit all the way up to $100. Monkeyknifefight.com, Monkey Knife Fight app, promo code Rumboyz. Get matched on your very first deposit all the way up to $100. It's simple. It's easy as that. Like it's easy as that. Also, this show is brought to you by the SportsMe app. SportsMe is sports you. If you got a fantasy football question, I can get face to face with you, and I can go ahead and answer that. You know, we can go back and forth about it. You know, whatever it takes, whatever is clever to make sure that your fantasy football roster is all set and taken care of over on the SportsMe app. Alrighty, let's go ahead and just dive right in to the week 3 waiver wire because that's what you all are here for. Cheers to me, cheers to you, all the rum boys and girls. What it do, dilly dilly. Alrighty. So first up, Pirates. We're gonna start off with the running backs. We're gonna start off with the running backs. I just want to let everybody know I'm willing to drop Marquez Callaway, fucking AJ Dillon, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Russell Gage for like probably any of these players that I'm about to mention right now. Look, first up, Cordarelle Patterson. Cordarelle Patterson got 2 touchdowns against the Bucks in week 2. They take on the Giants. He's 60% roster right now. He has that dual eligibility at running back and receiver. So, you know, you're able to kind of fill him in either way, fill him in at both. I like this as a flex play. It's a good flex move. Week 3 against the New York Giants. I mean, come on, like both of these defenses suck. Both these defenses are trash. Both offenses, I mean, someone has to win this game. Someone has to lose this game. Cordarelle Patterson hopefully should have a game. He's been eating into Mike Davis's touches in the backfield, but he's also looked like, at least on film, the better back, and he's looked like one of their premier weapons. Cordarelle Patterson, maybe you go out there and if you need a running back, maybe you grab Patterson and you fill him in there. If like Rojo or somebody's not getting the job done for you, not saying that you drop Rojo just yet. I keep Rojo on my bench, but you know what I'm saying. If you got Rojo in your flex, Tony Pollard is honestly probably like let's be serious. Pollard is probably one of the better backups in the league that you can roster. It's pretty much between him and Alexander Madison. 140 yards against the Chargers, and Pollard's playing against Philly next. Like the Cowboys got Philly next. He's 61% roster, so this breaks my rule of keeping this below 60% rostership. But I mean, Pollard is gonna. There's a chance that he could be available. in you guys' leagues, um, maybe I wouldn't make a trade for Pollard. I'm not trying to break the bank for Pollard or anything like that. I'm not blowing a whole lot of fab on either of these running backs in Patterson or Pollard. Um, but I mean, hey, 13 times for 109 yards, then caught all of his targets for 31 yards. Pollard showed that he could be a guy. Pollard showing that yo, I could be effective with what I'm giving. And you can't hate on that. You can't hate on that. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, we are about to get into our wide receivers. Now, this is the number one waiver priority here for me. Um, and that is who you see on the cover behind me of today's video, and that is Rondale Moore. Uh, Rondale Moore should be rostered everywhere. He is literally, by the way, give it up to Z2. Give it up to the homie Toby for designing such a fire graphic. Rondale Moore should be rostered practically everywhere that you can get him. He is sitting at 50% rostership right now, so he's just right on that cusp, right on the precipice of like really, being a guy across all leagues. Um, 7 catches on 8 targets for 114 yards and 1 TD in that victory that they caught Sunday over the Vikings. Damn you Vikings for messing up our money line. But all good, all good. Rondale Moore going up against the Jags this week, I feel like is a must start. If you're in a league where you have to start 3 receivers, I have no problem with Moore being my 3. I have no problem with Moore lining up in my flex. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, yo. I'm just putting on a hat so like I can't keep seeing my annoying ass hairline keep fading the hell away. There we go. Just gonna put on the hat and we're just gonna let it be. We're gonna let it rock. Put on the SportsMe hat. But Rondale Moore, this is a guy. Last week, everyone was like, Elijah Mitchell, you need to go and blow all your fab on Elijah Mitchell. This week, I'm saying you need to go and you need to blow your fab on Rondale Moore. I'm willing to drop like 35, 40% on Rondale Moore. If I gotta go all in, I'm willing to go all in. You don't want to. What happened last year with Justin Jefferson, and then Justin Jefferson went ahead and exploded. You don't want that to happen, with Rondale Moore. I think that Rondale Moore, he's done so well with the little bit that he has been given that he's going to earn himself more work. The work that he's put in is going to earn him more production. So because of that, I think that he's definitely a guy. He needs to be rostered in all leagues, and all formats, everywhere possible. He's sitting at 50% right now. KJ Osborn of the Minnesota Vikings going up against the Seattle Seahawks. He is 9% rostered right now. Had a 23 fantasy point outing. As long as Thielen and Jefferson are creating plays, spreading the field, stretching the field, Osborn's always he's gonna find himself open. What we thought was gonna happen in Minnesota, once they brought in Herndon and they elevated Conklin following the Irv Smith injury, we thought that they were gonna roll with this massive 12 personnel type of scheme. They usually line up with more tight ends than anyone else in the league. Excuse me. Woo. We need to get the green tea and rum up in our system. Hang on. But we're now seeing that they're running a lot more 3 receiver sets, and KJ Osborn is getting is getting involved in a lot of those 3 receiver sets. I like KJ Osborn. Going back to what I said about Rondale Moore, hey, wide receiver 3 flex play. While I can still get away with him before he continues to blow up and become a guy, elevates into that wide receiver 2 to possibly low end 1 type of area. I don't think that Osborn will do that. I think more so has that upside and more so has that big playability. But KJ Osborn, definitely noteworthy. If you're missing out on Rondale Moore and you need a receiver off the wire, Osborn can be your guy. Honestly, a lot of these players I'm mentioning, can be a guy on your roster. Next up, Sterling Shepard sitting at 63% roster, going up against the Falcons. Both of these teams aren't great. Both of these defenses aren't stellar. I'll say the Giants probably have a better defense at this given moment than the New York Football Giants. Um, but I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Why? I mean, Sterling Shepard hauled in nine out of 10 targets for 94 yards. And they still lost, but he had 24 points the first week up against Denver. Then he had 17 points last week. You're going up against a weak ass secondary in Atlanta. I expect a maybe even 24, 25 point game out of Sterling Shepard. As long as Daniel Jones keeps targeting Shepard, Shepard's probably going to be the wide receiver one on this team. Come into the season, Shepard's going to be the one on this team. I know that they have Galladay, and I know they got Slayton. Shepard's the one to roster off that Giant squad. I wholeheartedly believe that. Let's go ahead and let's keep it moving. Quintez Cephus, he performed well. Like he performed decently on Rumday night football. Let's see. He caught 4 passes for 63 yards with the touchdown, even though they lost against the Packers. His previous outing, 12 points against the Niners, 17 points against Green Bay. Detroit hasn't had an easy schedule these first 3 games. You go San Fran, Green Bay, then you go Baltimore, then you go Chicago after that. Then it's Minnesota, Cincinnati, LA. Chicago or Detroit has a really, really, really tough schedule, okay? But Cephus is still putting up points, and the ball has to go somewhere, all right? As long as Williams is out, I think that Cephus steps up and becomes a recipient for a lot in this Lions offense. Obviously, Goff is going to lock on to Hawkinson, but Cephus appears to be his second target. Amon-Ra is still coming into his own, and I think it's going to be a while before he becomes a thing, unfortunately, because I was super high on him, but it's definitely Quintez Cephus season for damn sure. Let's go ahead and get into some tight ends. We actually only have one tight end realistically that we are mentioning this week, and that is Max Williams from the Arizona Cardinals. You guys are going to notice a trend. I'm going to mention the Cardinals a little bit more than what I normally do in today's piece. We already talked about Rondale Moore. Let's talk about Max Williams. Look, there's no Dan Arnold, so it is just Max Williams as the only tight end in Arizona. Again, Arizona's playing the Jags. Then they go to Rams, San Fran, Cleveland. Then they go Houston. So right now they get a break again while going up against a Jacksonville team that's still figuring things out. It doesn't really have things together. You got a coach that came from college. This is bully session. He ranked as tight end 15. As long as Rondale Moore is stretching the field that in the way that he is, AJ Green, D Hop, Christian Kirk, I think Williams finds himself open more and more and more and more because there's so many weapons that the defense has to account for that Williams is just going to eat. He's just going to sit back in the middle of the field and find those soft spots in the zone, quick 10-yard pickups, 20-yard, 30-yard pickups here and there. I think he's a big chunky yardage type of play guy. Hauled in all 7 of his fucking targets for 94 yards, almost had a 100-yard outing. Max Williams, definitely a guy. He is completely 0% rostered. So, it's a fucking free-for-all. Those of you guys that enjoy late tight ends, if you're hurting at tight end and you need a tight end, look, you might as well take the risk. If you're sitting with Gesicki right now, go ahead and go get Williams or some shit, But I'm willing to drop Austin Hooper for Max Williams. Like if you got Austin Hooper, go drop Hooper, go pick up Max Williams. We're gonna get into quarterbacks here in just a second. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it on cards, keep it on the cardiac cards. Look, Arizona going up against the Jaguars. Their defense is 37% rostered right now. So I believe, let me double check that, make sure I got that right. Yes, they are 37% rostered at the given moment. So make sure you guys go stream Arizona wherever you can. If you're looking for a defense to stream this week, stream Arizona. Let's get into the quarterbacks really quick. We mentioned this guy last week. I'm going to mention him again this week. Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Heinicke. I don't know why. He went from 7% to 10% rostered. I am going to assume that is because most of you are in single QB leagues. If you are in a 2 QB league, the man put up damn near 30 fucking points against the New York Giants. They're going up against Buffalo this week. I know that Buffalo is a much more difficult defense. But then they get Atlanta. Then they get New Orleans. It's a tough game against Kansas City. But then Green Bay, Denver. I mean, it's some games that where Heinicke can kind of manage and put up some points. I think that if you're in a 2 QB, Heinicke can maybe be your second quarterback, especially if you got Lawrence, who's really not getting the fucking job done for much of anybody out there. Keeping it on the quarterbacks, this guy is only getting mentioned just because of the injury to Tyrod Taylor. He is sitting at 2% rostership. I actually dropped Davis Mills in an early redraft that I drafted like months and months ago. Davis Mills getting the start because Tyrod banged up. Didn't look bad. The reason why I'm really putting Mills up here is just because Tyrod has this, like, I guess, curse, if you will, to where something happens and the rookie incumbent fucking takes over and goes off. I don't think that's going to happen. They are playing the Panthers, and the Panthers defense is playing some good football. I do believe that the Panthers can win that game, but I'm not in a rush to go and get Mills. Like, I'm not in a rush. We're just mentioning him for the sake of, hey, the fact that Tyrod is out. Honorable mentions, Alexander Madison. It looks like Cook is going to be fine. But should anything happen to Cook, or if you're worried this week, like, hey, Cook could re-aggravate some shit, let me go ahead and get ahead of the ball on that one. Maybe you grab Madison, maybe you grab Pollard, like I talked about earlier. But Alexander Madison, 40% rostered, not a bad backup for you to grab. If you're already starting to panic, if you already got it built in your head that like Cook could re-aggravate. J.D. McKissic, 39% rostership. Let's just keep in mind that he's mostly going to be utilized in the 2-minute drill. If you pay attention, Gibson is eating into the workload of what we were accustomed to of McKissic last year. Okay, Gibson is still going to be the guy. They are trusting him in the early quarters. 2-minute drill is completely different. That's when they're bringing in McKissic, and I don't know if you want to rely on a 2-minute drill or with the game on line situation to try and get all of your garbage time points out of one player. J.D. McKissic is too garbage time point reliant. Justin Fields sitting at a nasty 69% rostered. I know that's breaking my rule, but if anything happens to Dalton, on top of that, with the fan steady championing for Fields, he didn't look bad. He didn't look great. He definitely looked like a rookie against Cincinnati. In a game that Cincinnati almost came back and won. Fields at 69% rostership. I feel like if you got the roster space, go ahead and grab him. If you got an extra spot on your bench, maybe someone went down this week, you got him on IR, wait until they come back. Go ahead and grab Fields up and see what happens. Brian Edwards at 42%. I know that he had a couple of big shots called back this past weekend, but I mean, if he doesn't have those big shots called back, we're talking about, maybe him having a better day possibly, or even the same day as what Henry Ruggs had. Brian Edwards is clearly getting worked into this Vegas offense. So I feel like Brian Edwards could definitely be a pickup. Braxton Berrios at 0% rostered. He's just getting these targets. He's just getting this massive target overload. Still don't know. It's the Jets, so stay away. But we thought I'd mention, fun to mention. Sonny Michel at 50% rostered. Henderson dealing with, a little bit of a bang up, a little bit of an injury. Believe it's just some cartilage, should be fine. But just in case, maybe you go and you grab Sonny Michel. Um, and then finally, Zach Pascal. It appears, well, Wentz with his with his not one but two sprained ankles, will likely miss some time. And if it's gonna be Eason, but the ball has to go somewhere, and it looks like Pascal so far. He's the guy. He's the guy. What 3 TDs or 4 TDs over the last 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of the season. Uh, so hey, good on you, Pascal. Ladies and gentlemen, other than that, this has been our fantasy football waiver wire. Our fantasy football waiver wire, week 3, 2021. Damn it. Let's go, Pirates. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you are new, then we greatly appreciate you. Spike that like button, let YouTube know that you enjoyed the content. Leave a comment in the comment section if you haven't already. And yeah, get at me on rumboyz.com. Download the SportsMe app. Monkey Knife Fight. Promo code rumboyz.com. Ladies and gentlemen, cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the Rumboyz and girls, what to do. Dilly dilly. I'm gonna get well soon. I promise you. Peace.